Few things confuse me more than limited editions tied to sporting events, especially when there's more than one. So having just returned from Barcelona, where I watched many moments in the America's Cup, I wanted to share with you the 3 editions from 2024, just so there's no confusion about which are the new editions, which are the ones from this year. We're going to kick off with the Omega Seamaster 300 America's Cup edition, which I'm going to compare directly to the Seamaster Diver 300M with a similar white dial, but a black bezel as opposed to a navy blue bezel. Now, this is your direct comparison, and I think the 300M America's Cup edition is actually simple enough to be considered a direct white dial competitor to the black bezel version. The differences between the two are the handset is blue on the America's Cup edition, the bezel is blue, and also you have a gradient on the minute hand of the America's Cup edition, and you have a America's Cup counterweight on the second hand, which is a very subtle nod to the America's Cup. I don't even think that would come on your radar if you bought this purely on aesthetics. Now, what I liked about this watch on the wrist is not just the white dial and this crisp nautical color scheme, which is quite different to the more traditional black, red and white color scheme of the white dial Seamaster with black bezel, but also the way that the lume plots are a little bit off-white. So they're fringed in blue, and they're a little bit off-white, which contrasts with the white dial. So both very crisp Seamasters, and truly when I see a white dial Seamaster, I notice it. It really stands out. So I think this one is a true contender for your crisp white dial Seamaster 300M, and you're either going to go the traditional way with the black bezel, or you might consider this more nautical twist. The next one that we have to consider is the monster, the Seamaster Planet Ocean 600M ETNZ Emirates Team New Zealand Deep Black. What a absolutely enormous watch. If you're a fan of a Planet Ocean chronograph, then you should consider this simply because it has this super high contrast black and like teal, again, this color of the Team New Zealand. This reminds me a little bit of early Bamford black models because it has that Bamford blue, but it has this very, very stealthy, kind of badass black color scheme happening. Now this watch absolutely monstered my 7-inch wrist. Don't buy this if you don't expect the watch to wear you. This is purely for, sometimes you make a purchase knowing that it's big. I've bought a Unimatic knowing it's big. I've bought Panerai knowing it's big. You definitely have to go into this purchase knowing that this watch is going to be a significant force and presence during the day. And it'll also be a presence to people looking at you because it's going to be very much out there. So I find the overall scheme of this watch, the black, the teal edging to the rubber strap, all these things. Now the dimensions of this watch are absolutely epic. We have a 45.5 millimeter diameter and we have a 19 millimeter thickness. And we have a whopping 52.4 millimeter lug to lug. So again, this is how it looks on my 7-inch wrist. But I find myself drawn to this watch for the fact that it is not pretending to be anything else. This is an enormous watch and it stands out amongst these 3 as being by far the one with the most wrist presence, but only for those that are not faint of heart at the prospect of wearing a 19 millimeter thick watch with a 45 millimeter diameter. Enormous. Lastly, the watch that was launched at the America's Cup and was worn by me on a yacht as we watched these incredible high-tech machines flying past at 52 knots, 100 kilometers an hour, which is, again, something you have to feel and see to believe in terms of how hair-raising it is for these sailors on board. Now, this is the Omega Seamaster Regatta America's Cup edition. Now this very much fits into the X33 tradition of analog digital watches, Anadigi watches, and it is a chance for Omega to flex its technical muscles outside of the mechanical realm. This watch is in fact their most accurate quartz watch to date, and it packs in 15 functions, including my favorite, which is a moon phase that can be adjusted to northern or southern hemispheres. Of course, there are lots of yachting related complications on board, including the all-important regatta timer as you count down to crossing the line. One surprising fact about this watch is the fact that this is only good to 50 meters water resistance. Now, what that perhaps is a gentle reminder of is to stay on board, simply. I loved wearing this watch on a yacht with its white strap, and to me it slots into a Tissot T-Touch category of watch. So if you're the kind of person that's exploring the oceans, then you're going to find lots of onboard tech that is useful to you, while not being a wrist computer that is designed, more broadly speaking, for professional sailing. This is definitely a mix of something that would be worn by a person like me on a yacht watching America's Cup and someone who actually sails often and competitively. So there you have it. We have three models: the Omega Seamaster 300M, the Deep Black Planet Ocean chronograph, and the Omega Seamaster Regatta. Three watches that are vastly different, and all three of the watches that were designed and released by Omega to celebrate the 37th America's Cup, which draws to a close in the next few days. Which of these three speaks to you the most? Tell me in the comments, and I'll see you on the next one.